Beyond the major powers, smaller nations designed, built, and fought with their own armored vehicles during World War II, from Hungarian Turáns to Romanian ingenuity, from Swedish neutrality preparations to Yugoslav desperation. This is the complete story of minor nation armor. 35 vehicles from 4 countries that history often overlooks. This is every tank, tank destroyer, armored car, and fighting vehicle used by Hungary, Romania, Sweden, and Yugoslavia in the Second World War. Hungary. Now, let's deep dive into Hungarian combat vehicles. As a German ally, Hungary developed substantial domestic armor production, creating indigenous designs alongside license-built variants. Hungarian tanks fought on the Eastern Front from 1941 through 1945, facing Soviet armor in desperate defensive battles. Straussler V4/40, the experimental beginning. Between 1 and 4 light tanks were built as Hungary explored domestic development. Designed by Nicholas Straussler, it featured innovative suspension. The V4/40 never entered mass production, serving as a testbed for future designs. Its legacy lived on in lessons learned for the Toldi series. 39 M Csaba, Hungary's armored reconnaissance vehicle. Between 102 and 137 were built, featuring a rear-facing driver allowing retreat without turning. Armed with 20mm autocannon and machine gun, the 4-wheeled Csaba provided reconnaissance for motorized units. It served throughout the Eastern Front, proving reliable despite light armor. 38 M Toldi 1, Hungary's first indigenous light tank. 80 were built starting in 1940, based on Swedish L60 design but manufactured domestically. The 8.5-ton Toldi 1 mounted a 20mm autocannon with armor up to 13mm. Named after a legendary knight, it symbolized national pride but struggled against Soviet T-34s during Barbarossa. 42 M Toldi 2A, the ultimate Toldi with crucial firepower upgrade. 80 vehicles were converted from Toldi 2s, mounting a 40mm Bofors gun. This gave genuine anti-tank capability against most Soviet light and medium tanks. The 40mm could penetrate 50mm armor at 500 meters. Toldi 2As fought until Hungary's 1945 collapse. 43 M Toldi 3, the final evolution that came too late. Only 12 were built as production shifted to Turán medium tanks. The Toldi 3 featured the 40mm gun standard with maximum 25mm armor. By 1943, the light tank concept was obsolete. The dozen survivors fought in defensive operations during 1944 to 1945. 40 M Turán 1, Hungary's medium tank gamble. Based on Czech Škoda T21, 285 Turán 1s were built, forming the armored division backbone. The 18.2-ton tank mounted a short 40mm gun, adequate for 1941 but quickly outclassed. Its 50mm frontal armor provided reasonable protection. Hungarian crews fought bravely in vehicles they knew were outmatched. 41 M Turán 2, the desperate firepower upgrade. Between 139 and 195 were built with a short 75mm gun, replacing the inadequate 40mm. This gave respectable hitting power, though the low-velocity gun still struggled against heavily armored Soviets. The Turán 2 entered service in 1943, too late to affect Hungary's deteriorating situation. 43 M Zrínyi 2, Hungary's most effective fighting vehicle. 72 assault guns were built on Turán chassis, mounting a powerful 75mm anti-tank gun in low-profile casemate. Named after a military hero, the Zrínyi 2 provided much-needed tank-killing capability. Its sloped armor and low silhouette made it harder to hit than turreted tanks. 44 M Zrínyi 1, the assault variant that barely existed. Only one was completed, mounting a 105mm howitzer for infantry support rather than anti-tank work. The prototype demonstrated Hungary's attempt at comprehensive armored forces with specialized vehicles. By 1944, resources had run out. The lone Zrínyi 1 likely saw no combat. 40 M Nimrod, Hungary's anti-aircraft solution. An impressive 135 were built, mounting the excellent Swedish 40mm Bofors gun on modified Turán chassis. The Nimrod provided mechanized units with mobile air defense against Soviet aircraft. Its open-topped fighting compartment allowed rapid traverse. Many were lost during chaotic retreat from Soviet advances. Romania. Moving on to Romanian armored fighting vehicles. Romania fought as an Axis power until 1944, then switched to the Allied side. Romanian ingenuity produced effective tank destroyers from limited resources, creating vehicles that fought both for and against Germany. R1, Romania's indigenous tank, a license-built Renault FT copy. 34 were manufactured domestically, despite the design's obsolescence. Armed with 37mm Bofors gun in rotating turret, the R1 represented attempted self-sufficiency. These saw limited combat during 1941 Soviet invasion. Most survived to fight against Germans after Romania's 1944 switch. R2, the Czech import that became Romania's main battle tank. 126 were purchased from Czechoslovakia, essentially the LTVZ-35 redesignated. The R2 mounted a 37mm gun with pneumatic steering. These formed Romanian Armored Division Corps during Barbarossa. After 1944, surviving R2s fought against German forces. TACAM T-60, Romanian improvisation at its finest. 34 tank destroyers were created by mounting captured Soviet 76.2mm guns on captured T-60 chassis. This converted light scout tanks into credible tank destroyers. The powerful gun compensated for thin armor. Several survived to fight against Germans after Romania's side switch. TACAM R2, the ultimate Romanian conversion. 40 were built by mounting Soviet 76.2mm guns on R2 chassis. The high-velocity gun could penetrate most German tanks at combat ranges. The conversion program began in 1943 as combat losses mounted. TACAM R2s fought effectively in 1944 defensive battles, then against Germans. Vânătorul de Care, R-35 French tanks reborn as tank destroyers. Romania converted Renault R-35s by removing turrets and installing Soviet 45mm or 76.2mm guns. Exact conversion numbers remain unclear. This gave obsolete infantry tanks new battlefield relevance. The low-profile casemate design made them harder targets than original turreted configuration. Mareșal, Romania's indigenous design masterpiece. Though only one prototype was completed in 1945, the Mareșal represented Romanian engineering achievement. This low-profile tank destroyer mounted a 75mm gun with heavily sloped armor. The design was remarkably modern, comparable to German Jagdpanzer concepts. Had it entered production earlier, it could have significantly strengthened Romanian forces. Sweden. Next up, Swedish neutrality armor. Maintaining armed neutrality, Sweden developed substantial domestic production, creating unique designs combining imported technology with indigenous innovation. Swedish tanks never saw combat, but represented serious preparation for potential invasion. PBIL-M/39, Sweden's early armored car for reconnaissance. Production numbers remain uncertain, but multiple examples served in cavalry units. The PBIL-M/39 featured turret-mounted machine gun providing mobile observation. Its primary role was border patrol along Sweden's extensive coastline and forests. It served throughout war years on constant alert. PBIL-M/41, the improved reconnaissance vehicle with better armor and firepower. Exact production figures unclear, but enough equipped reconnaissance battalions. The M41 featured enhanced crew protection and improved reliability from M39 experience. Swedish doctrine emphasized mobility and early warning. The PBIL-M/41 served until the 1950s. Strv-M/21 to 29. Sweden's World War I-era light tanks modernized and kept in service. 10 were purchased from Germany in the 1920s, based on German Lk2 design. These obsolete vehicles remained in inventory throughout World War II for training and last resort reserves. They represented Sweden's determination to maintain armored forces despite market difficulties. Strvm/31. The German import providing modern armor. 10 were purchased from Germany in 1931, essentially improved Lk2 tanks. These served as frontline tanks until domestic production began. The M31 mounted 37mm gun weighing 11 tons. Though obsolete by World War II, they remained as training vehicles throughout the conflict. Landsverk L120. The experimental stepping stone to indigenous design. This prototype explored domestic development capabilities. The L120 never entered production, serving as a development platform. Its significance lay in proving Sweden could design tracked armored vehicles domestically. Lessons fed directly into the successful L60 program. L60, Sweden's export success launching Hungarian armor. 18 were built for Swedish service while the design was licensed to Hungary for the Toldi series. The L60 featured reliable mechanics and good mobility, weighing 8.5 tons with 20mm autocannon. It served in Swedish units throughout World War II as reconnaissance tank. Strvm/37. The Czech import strengthening Swedish armor. 48 were purchased from Czechoslovakia in 1938, essentially the export TNH LT-38. These provided modern, reliable tanks when European tensions escalated. Armed with 37mm gun, the M37 served as main battle tank until domestic production ramped up. Many served through the 1950s. Strvm/38. Sweden's first truly indigenous tank design. 16 were built domestically, representing a milestone in Swedish military industry. The M38 featured Swedish design suspension and armor layout with 37mm gun. Weighing 8.5 tons, it provided reconnaissance capability. The limited run reflected cautious approach to untested domestic designs. Strvm/39. The improved follow-on to the M/38. 16 were produced with enhanced armor and better mechanical reliability. The M/39 incorporated M/38 operational lessons, particularly improved suspension for Swedish terrain. It maintained standard 37mm gun armament. These vehicles served in defensive positions along Sweden's borders, ready for invasion. Strvm/40. L. Significant production strengthening Swedish forces. 100 were built by Landsverk, giving Sweden meaningful tank strength. The M40L featured improved armor up to 24mm with reliable 37mm gun. Production in substantial numbers reflected growing industrial confidence and war fears in 1940 to 1941. The M40L served into early 1950s. Strvm/41. The modified Czech design produced domestically. 116 were built under license, based on Czechoslovak technology but Swedish manufactured. The M41 combined proven Czech engineering with Swedish production standards. Armed with 37mm gun, it represented Sweden's hybrid approach to armor development. Strvm/42. Sweden's most successful and numerous tank. An impressive 282 were produced between 1942 and 1945, finally giving Sweden a medium tank with 75mm gun. Weighing 22.5 tons with armor up to 55mm, the M42 represented genuine combat capability. It formed Swedish armored force backbone when invasion seemed possible. SAVM-43, Sweden's self-propelled artillery solution. 36 were built, mounting 105mm howitzer on modified tank chassis. The SAVM-43 provided mechanized units with mobile indirect fire. Its open-topped fighting compartment allowed rapid fire. While primarily artillery, it could engage point targets in direct fire if necessary. Tigbilum-42, Sweden's armored personnel carrier for mechanized infantry. Production numbers uncertain, but enough equipped motorized battalions. The Tigbilum-42 featured tracked mobility and light armor, allowing infantry to accompany tanks. Its design reflected Swedish combined arms understanding, recognizing tanks alone couldn't hold territory. Yugoslavia. Finally, let's examine Yugoslav combat vehicles. Yugoslavia's brief resistance in April 1941 saw a mixed collection of imports pressed into desperate service. Within 11 days, German invasion crushed Yugoslav forces before armor could make significant impact. Renault FT, the World War I veterans still serving in 1941. Approximately 100 remained in Yugoslav service, purchased in the 1920s from France. Armed with 37mm Puteaux guns or machine guns, they were hopelessly obsolete. The 6.5-ton vehicles could barely reach 5 miles per hour. During April invasion, Renault FTs attempted defending against panzers with predictable results. R-35, the French reinforcement arriving just in time for destruction. 54 were delivered in 1940, representing modern armor by regional standards. The R-35 featured 45mm armor and 37mm gun, adequate for 1940. Yugoslav crews were still training when German invasion struck April 6, 1941. Most were lost in the 11-day campaign. T-32, Shidi, the Czech tank destroyer purchased for Yugoslav service. 8 were delivered from Czechoslovakia's Škoda works in 1936. The T-32 mounted 37mm gun optimized for anti-tank work. These represented Yugoslavia's most modern armored vehicles in April 1941. However, 8 tank destroyers couldn't affect the outcome against massed German armor. Peugeot armored car, Yugoslavia's light reconnaissance vehicle of uncertain numbers. These French-designed armored cars provided mobile observation and light fire support. Armed with machine guns and featuring wheeled mobility, they served in cavalry reconnaissance units. During April 1941, Peugeot cars attempted reconnaissance against German columns, but were quickly overwhelmed. From Hungarian Turáns fighting desperate defensive battles on the Eastern Front to Romanian ingenuity creating effective tank destroyers from captured equipment, from Swedish Strv M42s standing ready to defend neutrality to Yugoslav R-35s overwhelmed in 11 days, minor nation armor tells stories of national determination, engineering creativity, and resource constraints. The Hungarian Toldi series showed evolution from light reconnaissance to upgunned tank destroyer killer. Romania's Mareșal prototype demonstrated that small nations could design world-class armor if given time and resources. Sweden's comprehensive Strv program proved neutrality required serious armored strength, not just diplomatic words. Yugoslavia's tragic collection of obsolete imports showed what happened when rearmament came too late. These 35 vehicles represent the struggles and achievements of nations caught between great powers, fighting with what they could build or buy, determined to maintain independence and dignity. Minor nations, major courage, unforgettable stories.